Okay, come to accounting standard 11. Very interesting accounting standard AS-11. Okay, let's understand the heading first. Accounting standard 11 says the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. मतलब जब भी foreign exchange rates change होते हैं तो इसका क्या effect आता है ये हमको accounting standard 11 बताता है. Again I am saying what is the effect of the change in foreign exchange rates. That is what AS-11 tells you. Now please understand, suppose I do not do any business. Take for example, I do not do any business, so I have no business, plus I simply work somewhere, so I am a salaried person, and I have got nothing to do with foreign countries. I have no property in the foreign country, I have no income from the foreign country. If that is the case, and today I come to know that dollar has increased from 60 to 70, will it affect me? That's my question to you on your chat box. Will it affect me, yes or no? You think it will affect me? Of course it will not affect me. So there is a change in foreign exchange rates, but it is not impacting me. There is no effect on me. On the other hand, let's take another example. Right, let's take example 2. Just give me 1 minute. Let's take another example. In example number 2, suppose I purchase goods from US. I purchase goods from US. The rate today is 60 rupees and then the rate became 70 rupees. Tell me, will this change affect my business? Quickly on the chat box, yes or no? Yes, of course it will affect, because now this increase will directly relates to my business. Let's take another example. Again, say for example, rather than now purchasing, I am selling goods to US. So when I sell goods to US and the rate changes from 60 to 70, now tell me, will it again affect my business? Yes or no? Of course, yes. Now, which means that if I have got something to do with foreign exchange and that is changing, only then AS-11 is applicable to me. AS-11 is not applicable to anyone and everyone. AS-11 is applicable to the one who is dealing in foreign exchange, who has something to do with foreign exchange, right? Only then accounting standard 11 becomes applicable. Are you getting it? Okay, now I have another question to you. AS-11 is one standard where situation will keep on changing every time. For example, suppose let's take first example, I purchase goods from US. I purchase goods from US. Now please answer every question of mine. Initially you may feel that I am asking you very silly and very simple questions. That's okay. I would still request you to answer because this entire accounting standard revolves around those questions. If you understand the question that I am asking to you, these are the same questions you have to ask to yourself when you solve the question. If you are able to follow this process, I think this standard is one of the most easiest standards to solve. My first question to you is, when you purchase goods, do you have to receive money or pay money? On the chat box, do you have to receive money or pay money? Everyone agrees you have to pay. Okay, if the rate is 60 rupees today and the rate becomes 70 rupees tomorrow, for a person who is purchasing, is it gain or loss? Excellent, everyone agrees loss. Akshay, how do you say gain? Akshay, how do you say gain? Please check your answer. It's not gain. It has to be loss. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Let's take another example. Suppose if I sell goods to US, the rate today is 60. Tomorrow the rate becomes 70. Now tell me, gain or loss? Gain, which means same question, but when I am a purchaser, situation changes. When I am a seller, situation changes. However, the rates, the increase, the effect is exactly same, which means in AS-11 you will always take the viewpoint of the person who is either receiving money or who is either paying money. आपको universal viewpoint nahi lena hai. You will take the viewpoint of the person who is either receiving money or the one who is either paying money. Are you getting it? So you will take that person's viewpoint at all times. Are you getting it? Right, I hope that is clear to you. Now the question is that in every accounting standard that we have done till now, majorly we have studied a negative list. What is a negative list? Negative list matlab this standard is applicable to all except 1, 2, 3, 4. जैसे अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 2 कहता है कि AS2 is applicable to everyone except WIP in the course of construction contracts, WIP in the course of service providers. उसको नेगेटिव लिस्ट कहते हैं, मतलब सब पे अप्लाई होता है लेकिन इन 4 पे नहीं होता है. AS-11 पॉजिटिव लिस्ट बताता है. AS-11 आपको एक्चुअली बताता है ये स्टैंडर्ड किस पे अप्लाई होगा. This standard gives you a positive list. Now let's understand that carefully. ये अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड मतलब AS-11 will be applicable. Accounting standard will be applicable only to 3 aspects. 3 ही चीजों पे अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड अप्लाई करता है. ध्यान से समझना. सबसे पहला, the first one is accounting for transactions of foreign currency. मतलब आपने अगर कोई भी transaction foreign currency में किया है, say for example आपने sale किया है, आपने purchase किया है, right? These are transactions in foreign currency. जब भी आप foreign currency में purchase करोगे या sale करोगे, AS-11 आपको follow करना पड़ेगा. Right? Come to the next one. Translation, very important word, underline translation. Very important word, underline translation. Translation of financial statements of foreign operations. अब ध्यान देना. What is the meaning of translation? Let's understand the meaning of the word translation. Say for example, everyone on your chat box, please reply to me. Say for example, my head office is in Mumbai and I have one branch at UK and both are independent. My first question to you is, जो ब्रांच मुंबई में है वो कौन से करेंसी में अपने बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स बनाएंगे? क्विकली ऑन द चैट बॉक्स, वो कौन से करेंसी में अपने बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स बनाएंगे? इंडियन करेंसी, एवरीवन अग्रीज, आया ना? ओके. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, द ब्रांच इन यूके विल प्रिपेयर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स इन विच करेंसी? क्या वो ऐसा बोलेंगे नहीं नहीं हमारा तो हेड ऑफिस इंडिया में है तो हम तो इंडिया की करेंसी से ही बनाएंगे भले हम यूके में बिजनेस करते हैं? They will prepare in GBP, that is pound. Okay, my next question to you is, when you prepare final accounts, answer should be yes or no. When you prepare final accounts, do we merge head office and branches? Yes or no? Do we merge? Do we prepare consolidated financial statements? Of course, yes. Okay, excellent. Everyone is correct. My next question to you is, my next question is very simple to you. Can I do in this way? Can I add INR and pound key values directly? Suppose asset is 1 lakh rupees over here and one asset is 500 pounds over there. So can I do 1 lakh 500? Can I do 1 lakh 500? Yes or no? Of course I cannot. What I have to do in this case is, please understand, what I have to do in this case is, I will have to first translate. I will have to first translate GBP values into INR values. क्या करना पड़ेगा मुझे ट्रांसलेशन करना पड़ेगा, जीबीपी से आईएनआर पे ट्रांसलेशन करना पड़ेगा. ट्रांसलेशन करने के बाद जब दोनों वैल्यूज आईएनआर होगी तब मैं ऐड कर पाऊंगा. अब जब इस टाइप की सिचुएशन है कि आप वडोदरा में हो पर हेड ऑफिस या ब्रांच ऑफिस कहीं और है, in that case what will happen is you will always first translate the foreign currency financial statements into INR and then you will consolidate. But the question is which rate you will take to translate. That accounting standard 11 will tell you. कौन से रेट को यूज करके ट्रांसलेशन करना है वो आपको कौन बताएगा? अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 11 बताएगा. Are you understanding? Let's quickly understand this once again. The first one says accounting for transactions in foreign currency. So what is the meaning of accounting for transactions in foreign currency? Whatever transaction you do in foreign currency, सपोज आपने वहां से गुड्स खरीदे, वहां पे गुड्स बेचे, आपने वहां से लोन ली है, आपने वहां पे किसी को लोन दी है, all these types of transactions are known as transactions in foreign currency. The second point says translation of financial statements of foreign operations. When you translate financial statements, so if you have one branch office outside India, so you need to translate their books of accounts into INR. This is again considered as translation of financial statements, and this will form part of accounting standard 11. Let's come to the last part. That's a very interesting part. It says accounting for foreign exchange transactions which are in the nature of forward exchange contracts. Very important word, underline that. Forward exchange contracts. Forward exchange contract. Underline the word forward exchange contracts. Okay, let's understand this. First, understand what is a forward exchange contract. A forward exchange contract, first of all, is a contract. Why do you enter this contract? To mitigate the risk. What is the meaning of mitigate? Can someone tell me on the chat box the meaning of the word mitigate? The meaning of the word mitigate is to reduce. Okay. Now my question to you is there any kind of risk when you enter into a foreign exchange, yes or no? Is there any kind of a risk? Of course there is a risk. Risk that I may have to pay more, risk that I may receive less. हो सकता है मैंने बेचा तब 60 रुपए डॉलर का रेट था और मुझे पैसे मिलने वाले हैं, अब 60 रुपए तो डॉलर का रेट नहीं है, उसकी जगह डॉलर का रेट 50 रुपए हो गया, तो जो मुझे 60 रुपए के हिसाब से मिलने वाला था अब 50 रुपए के हिसाब से मिलेगा. Are you getting it? Which means there is a risk. Now everyone is afraid of the risk, so they try to reduce the risk. How do you reduce the risk? Risk is reduced by a tool known as hedging. Risk is reduced by a tool known as hedging, and forward exchange contracts is one of the tools of hedging. फॉरवर्ड एक्सचेंज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या होता है, ध्यान से समझना. आप एक बैंक के पास जाते हो, यू गो टू अ बैंक or a foreign exchange dealer and you tell him that I have sold goods. ध्यान देना, I have sold goods of US dollars 10,000. You will say that you will go to a bank or a dealer and say I have sold goods of US dollars 10,000 when the rupee value was 60 rupees per dollar. You tell the bank that sir, I am afraid that this rate will go down. This rate will become 50 per dollar. You ask the bank, what can I do? The bank tells you, sir, let's enter into a forward exchange contract. Forward exchange contract means फ्यूचर का रेट, फ्यूचर की डेट हम आज डिसाइड करते हैं. Which means the bank will tell you कि सर एक काम करते हैं. The bank in that case will tell you, just give me a, which means the bank will tell you that let us fix a rate at rupees 55 per dollar. The bank will tell you, एक काम करो, 60 रुपए रेट है, आपको डर लग रहा है 50 है, एक काम करते हैं हम 55 रुपीज आज ही तय कर लेते हैं. जब भी आपको 2 महीने बाद पैसे मिले, हम आपको 55 रुपीज के हिसाब से ट्रांजैक्शन आपके साथ करेंगे. आई यू गेटिंग इट? फिर से बता रहा हूँ, हम आज रेट तय कर रहे हैं जब 60 रुपए और हमको डर क्या है रेट 50 रुपए हो जाएगा, पर बैंक हमको एक सजेशन देता है, एक काम करते हैं हम फॉरवर्ड एक्सचेंज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आ जाते हैं. हमने उनको पूछा सर ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्या होता है, हमको समझाओ, तो उन्होंने बोला कि हम आज रेट तय कर लेते हैं 55. आगे जाके अगर रेट 100 भी हो गया तो भी हम कितने में डील करेंगे, 55. और आगे जाके अगर रेट 5 रुपए हो गया तो भी हम कितने में डील करेंगे, 55. मतलब आपको सर्टेनिटी आ गई कि हमें मैक्सिमम लॉस होगा तो कितना होगा, 5 रुपीज पर डॉलर. Are you getting it? This is known as forward exchange contracts, where today you enter into a contract pertaining to future. That is known as a forward exchange contract. Right? This is just the gist that I gave you about forward exchange contract. We will understand in detail when we understand the third part. So the third part says, how will you account for foreign exchange transactions which are in the nature of forward exchange contracts? So forward exchange contracts, whenever they are there, how will the accounting treatment be? This is what accounting standard 11 explains to you. So please understand, accounting standard 11 is applicable to three things. First, accounting for transactions in foreign currency, translation of financial statements of foreign operations, accounting for foreign exchange transactions which are in the nature of forward exchange contracts. Are you getting it? Right, quickly on the chat box, is the applicability of AS-11 clear to you? Quickly put it on the chat box. Yes or no? Okay, let's go to the next part. If everything is clear to you till now, let's go to the next part, which says this standard does not. Now, there are two things that this standard does not do. First, this accounting standard will never specify the currency in which the financial statement should be prepared. आपको AS-11 कभी नहीं कहेगा भैया आप डॉलर यूज करो, आप येन यूज करो, आप पाउंड यूज करो, आप INR यूज करो. वो यही कहेगा कि जिस कंट्री में आप हो उस कंट्री की करेंसी आपके लिए लोकल करेंसी, और जिस कंट्री के साथ आप डील कर रहे हो बाहर वाली कंट्री, दैट इज नोन एज योर फॉरेन करेंसी. That foreign country's currency will be known as foreign currency, right? So there are two things. One, they talk about local currency, and the other they talk about foreign currency. Second point, this standard will never deal with presentation of cash flow statement. So this standard will never talk about cash flow statement. Why? Because you already have accounting standard 3 that takes care of it. Because accounting standard 3 covers cash flow statement, this accounting standard will not interfere in that case. So again, accounting standard 3 in that case will not interfere. Sorry, because you have accounting standard 3, accounting standard 11 will not interfere in that case. Right, again, first 2 points very important. We are doing which standard? AS-11, which says the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. The first point is applicability of accounting standards. This standard is applicable to three things: transactions in foreign currencies, translation of financial statements of foreign items, and accounting for foreign exchange transactions which are in the nature of forward exchange contracts. And then the second point says that this standard does not specify the currency in which the financial statements are to be presented, and it does not deal with the cash flow statement as it is already covered by accounting standard 3. Fine, let's come to the last part of this accounting standard for today. Let's understand initial recognition. अभी आज तक हमने पढ़ा था that suppose if you talk about AS-26, initially every intangible is recognized at cost, और फिर हमने सीखा था cost कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं. यहाँ पे देखो इनिशियल रिकॉग्निशन क्या है. A transaction in foreign currency should be recorded by in the books by converting foreign currency into Indian rupees at very important underline the spot rate. Very important underline the spot rate prevailing on the date of transaction. So you have the spot rate prevailing on the date of the transaction. So you have spot rate which prevails on the date of transaction. What is the meaning of spot rate? Spot rate means the rate that prevails on the date of the transaction. Now take this example. Suppose if I tell you on 10th May 2020, the rate is rupees 60 per dollar. तो 10/5/2020 के लिए 60 रुपीज क्या कहलाएगा? स्पॉट रेट कहलाएगा. Are you understanding? 10/5 को जो रेट था वो उस दिन का स्पॉट रेट कहलाएगा. Which means if you talk about 15th May, say for example on 15th May the rate was 70. So on 15th May the spot rate was how much? 70 rupees. It means the rate on the date of the transaction. जिस दिन आपने ट्रांजैक्शन किया उस दिन जो रेट चल रहा था उसको ये लोग क्या कहते हैं? स्पॉट रेट कहते हैं. इनिशियली आप कोई भी ट्रांजैक्शन ले लो, हम किस पे रिकॉर्ड करेंगे? स्पॉट रेट पे रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. Are you getting it? Okay, come to the next one. If there are large number of transactions in foreign currency, then the average of the weekly rates, this should be removed. The average of the weekly rates shall be used for conversion. मान लीजिए आपका बिजनेस उस नेचर का है कि हर थोड़ी देर में रेट्स चेंज होते हैं. In that case, it is very difficult to take one spot rate. So in that case, what you will do is you will take the average of the weekly rates, and that rate will be used for conversion. However, at your level, at the intermediate level, you have no questions based on this. You have questions where we will be using only and only the spot rate. So we will be using the spot rate in that case. Right, look at the next one. Transaction of foreign currency items on the transactions of foreign currency items on the reporting date, that is the balance sheet. In case of monetary items, you will always use the closing rate. In case of non-monetary items, you will always use the acquisition rate. So now please understand, whatever I am reading, just please listen to that. It may so happen that you may not understand things right now. That's okay, that's normal. When I sum up everything and when we do the questions, you will be able to relate everything. So as of now, please have patience and only understand what I'm trying to say. It may so happen that you will not understand or you may not be able to find a link, but that's okay, that's normal in AS-11. When I go to the questions or when I sum up everything or when I give you a quick overview, that time you will be able to relate everything because everything is related to each other. Okay, first let's understand what is monetary item. Monetary items means items which are money held and the assets and liabilities which are to be received or paid in fixed amounts. For example, cash is a monetary item. Your debtors are your monetary items. Your bills receivable are your monetary items. Your creditors are your monetary items. Your bills payable, bonds, debentures, bank overdraft, term loan, all these are known as your monetary items, and monetary items will always be recorded using the closing rate. Right, okay. If the closing rate cannot be determined, say for example, the closing rate cannot be determined, then you will use the net realizable value. On the other hand, for non-monetary items, these are assets and liabilities other than monetary items. You will always use the acquisition rate. Very important. You will always be using over here the acquisition rate. What is the meaning of acquisition rate? Acquisition rate means the rate on the date when the asset or liability was obtained oblique acquired. For example, every fixed asset is a non-monetary item. Every long-term investment is your non-monetary item. Are you getting it? Right, okay. Before we proceed, let's quickly revise whatever we have done. We are doing AS-11, the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates, जहाँ पे हमने ये पढ़ा कि accounting standard तीन चीजों पे apply होता है. First is accounting for transactions in foreign currency, translation of financial statements of foreign operations, accounting for foreign exchange transactions which are in the nature of forward exchange contract. This standard will not apply, will not do the following two things. It will never specify the currency in which the financial statement should be presented. It will never deal with cash flow statement in terms of foreign transactions. Initially, every transaction should be recorded at the spot rate. What is the meaning of spot rate? It means the rate prevailing on the date of the transaction. If there are a large number of transactions in foreign currencies, then you will always take the average of the weekly rates. How will you record the transactions in foreign currency? If it is a monetary item, say for example, if it is your debtor, your creditor, your cash balance, your bill receivable, you will always use the closing rate. If by any means the closing rate is not determinable, then you will use the net realizable value. In terms of non-monetary items, the non-monetary items are which are items, assets and liabilities which are other than your monetary items. In case of non-monetary items, you will always use the acquisition rate, which is fixed assets, long-term investments, etc. Acquisition rate means the rate on the date when the asset or liability was obtained or acquired. Are you getting it? Quickly on the chat box, are you clear till here? Yes or no? Quickly, everyone on the chat box, are you clear till here? Are you clear till here? Okay, perfect. Now I think this much is sufficient for today, because after this begins the next part and you have question number 1 and then you have accounting for exchange differences. So let us take this afresh in the next week. Whenever you have my lecture, that is the time we will take this part up. Before that, one important thing, please ensure that you revise entire accounting standard 26. If you have any doubts, please get back to me. I have two doubts. If I'm not mistaken, I probably have missed those two doubts. So let me see that. Okay. So there is one doubt which asked me, what is the meaning of cost of design, construction, operation of a pilot plant that is not of a scale economically feasible for commercial production? Okay, I think this doubt was asked to me by Sprua. So let me solve that doubt. This point means that suppose say for I'll give you an example. Say for example there is one company that does research कि क्या small scale flights city के अंदर चल सकती है, within the city. That's the question. एक कंपनी ने बोला कि क्या वडोदरा सिटी के अंदर क्या हम फ्लाइट चला सकते हैं, मतलब एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना हो तो क्या फ्लाइट यूज हो सकती है, ऐसा क्वेश्चन था. किसी ने बोला हाँ यूज हो सकती है, टेक्निकल और टेक्निकल फिजिबिलिटी है, सब कुछ सेट हो गया. अब मान लो मैंने अपनी कंपनी चालू की जिसमें मैं ऐसा डिसाइड करता हूँ कि मैं ये फ्लाइट्स मैन्युफैक्चर करूँ. अब एक फ्लाइट बनाने में बहुत लंबा चौड़ा खर्चा लगता है, तो मैं ऐसा सोचता हूँ मैं पूरा फ्लाइट नहीं बनाता हूँ, मैं उसका एक शॉर्ट वर्जन बनाता हूँ, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा वर्जन बनाना इकोनॉमिकली फीजिबल नहीं है. अगर नहीं चला तो बहुत बड़ा नुकसान हो जाएगा, इसलिए आई मेक अ शॉर्ट वर्जन ऑफ इट. A short version is known as a pilot version. A short version is known as a pilot version. Now, when will someone make a pilot version? Only when research is successful and now we want to develop. Are you getting it? Right. So I hope, Sprua, that solves your doubt. This is known as the meaning of the pilot version. This is known as the meaning of the pilot version. Right, okay. I think this much is sufficient for today. I will now see you next time whenever you have your lecture. Till then, study everything properly. If you have any doubts, please get back to me. And now, after Accounting Standard 26, we are left out with Accounting Standard 9 for some students, Accounting Standard 10, Accounting Standard 11, of course, we have begun, and Accounting Standard 22, and of course Accounting Standard 20, only a limited part of the questions are left. Fine, so hopefully in the next 8 to 10 lectures our syllabus should be finished, right? However, we will go slowly and systematically so that you all clearly understand everything. Fine, thank you so much for attending, and now I'll see you next time whenever my lecture is. Please study properly, and if you have any doubts, please get back to me. Thank you.